Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm ☚46. You're tuned in to a brand new episode of Straight Talk. Now, Straight Talk is going to be a series of videos I've done in the past where we talk about anything interesting or relevant in the world of airsoft, and we do some Q&A things. Questions like, hey, can you even beat the Predator in Ghost Recon? I don't know. I played it about 10 times. We'll find out. Okay, you tell me. So in the past, I did a few videos I called ☱Airsofters or Fat Airsofters, 10 reasons why they're better, things like that. One of them was serious, one of them was more satire. But those videos have been getting a lot of views recently and a lot of engagement, which leads me to believe that a lot of bigger dudes are out there searching those videos, finding them, watching them. That's awesome, man. So I just wanted to touch base on that to you new guys that have recently found my channel and subscribed, found me via those videos, and kind of give you some tips that have kind of helped me out along the way, and hopefully they'll help you too. The biggest tip I could give you about being a big airsofter is pace yourself. I've seen so many people at Milsim events or large scale airsoft events just fall out due to overworking themselves. Obviously not drinking enough water, not hydrating, or just working themselves too much. We all get out there, we all like to play pretend soldier when we're doing Milsim stuff, and sometimes you forget, you know, you're not actually a soldier, nor is your body, and I've seen a lot of people fall out. So make sure you're pacing yourself. If you're a big dude, get out there, sweat, have fun, but pace yourself. Make sure you're drinking water. If you're feeling like you're gonna crash, go ahead and take 5 minutes. Sit down, that's fine. You're a big dude, you're out there doing your thing, that's okay. The other thing is I get a lot of private messages on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube from big guys that are getting into airsoft that want to know where you get the good gear. Where are you getting your gear? At the Gucci gear, the good gear. And I think a lot of times they're talking about plate carriers. So I love this plate carrier here that I'm wearing. This is from Mission Spec, made in the USA, Berry Amendment compliant, and they make an XL sized plate carrier. So that's the thing you got to keep in mind too. A lot of this Chinese stuff, the clone, the affordable stuff that a lot of airsofters wear and purchase, it's going to be kind of default sized as a medium or a large. As a big dude, you're going to want a large size plate, and all these vests, and I say vest, when I'm talking about is plate carriers or armor carriers, they're all designed based on your plate size or your soft armor size, but more in modern times it's going to be based on your plate size. I definitely wear an XL plate, okay? And do your research out there, find out what plate size you wear, and then get the according carrier for you. There you go. So that being said, all of that affordable stuff that's coming out of China, the knockoff stuff, the Condor type thing, it's going to be a little bit snug on you because you actually need a bigger plate and a bigger plate carrier. So gear's going to cost you a little bit more, or just settle for the chest rig. Can't go wrong there, and you'll vent a little bit better too. The third thing is, this year I've made some changes for myself. You know, I didn't like what I was looking at in the mirror anymore. I didn't like how I was feeling, and I wanted to make a change. So I made a change, and I'm actually down about 35, 40 pounds, which is awesome. And it fluctuates. Being a big dude, I get it, but the big thing to remember is stop putting garbage in your mouth. You can make a change. It's really easy. I know a lot of guys, including me, struggle with weight loss, and we all try to trim down, but the big thing is stop putting garbage in your mouth. Stop it today, and you'll start seeing the results. Not quick. It's a long-term game. Last thing on big softers, big bodies out there playing airsoft, out there sweating, having a good time, is remember to have fun. That's what this is all about. Do not worry about what other people might be thinking about you, what they're saying about you. You're out there to have fun. You're out there to sweat. You're out there to play airsoft or Milsim or whatever your brand of airsoft is. Get out there, have a good time, and haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. They hate us because they ain't us. That's probably not true. They hate us because we're fat. Hurts. One of the other points I wanted to touch base on was 2017 has been such an awesome year for airsoft. I'm talking about new fields opening, new Milsim and event airsoft organizations and groups popping up all over the country. It's been such an awesome year for airsoft. I've been blessed to travel around and see some of these awesome fields, some of these new offerings. Now, we've seen some of these old fields close, and that's sad, but the cool thing is I think a lot of these newer offerings, indoor CQB arenas or these new event groups, things like that, new outdoor fields, and they're coming out of the gates correct. And I think that that's kind of awarded to some of the old guard that has kind of passed along a lot of their knowledge, a lot of their hit and miss type things to these new guys. They've seen it and they've learned from it and they're implementing on it, and that's really awesome. So many cool guns coming out in 2017 and more to come in 2018. So It's been such a great year for Airsoft in 2017, and if you're just starting to pick up the game, if you're just getting going in your journey with Airsoft, welcome, and things are looking bright for the future for sure. I'm really excited on what's going on throughout the United States. Currently, I'm working on revamping and ramping up my YouTube channel. You know, I've seen some pockets here and there where I haven't done consistent uploads, things like that. I plan to change that, and I'm changing around some things, changing around some formats, stuff like that. So if you guys are just subscribing to me, make sure you ding that bell down there. That's going to help you get notified as soon as I put an upload up fresh to YouTube. Also, make sure you check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't use Twitter, but I have one, I guess, whatever. Who uses Twitter? Trump? Donald Trump, I guess, and like celebrities you talk smack with. So anyways, guys, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Going forward from here, I'm really excited. I've got some big things planned, and should be a really exciting year in 2018. All right, let's get into some questions and answering. Now, these are going to come direct from the YouTube community posts that I put up. Make sure you guys engage with me there. I love talking with you guys. I love having an open discussion, and that's what these episodes of Straight Talk are really all about. Leo Lindell, he asks, how well do the new Glocks operate in the field? Well, I'm not at liberty to talk about a lot of that right now, but they're coming. They're definitely coming. There's no stopping it. Everything is green light go. How well do they perform in the field, operate in the field? So let me tell you this real quick. Anything that comes through ᴜᴚ USA or Elite Force, the quality control program that all these guns go through, as far as the stress test, usually we get, I can't talk too much about it. Anyways, the big stress test, 5,000 rounds, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's a bolt action sniper rifle, gas blowback, CO2, green gas, whatever. Everything's got to pass without failure 5,000 rounds. I'm talking about, you know, no blowouts of the hop up, no leaky mags, anything like that. It's got to go 5,000 rounds with minimal breaks in order for them to consider carrying that product through Elite Force or ᴜᴚ USA. So anything that comes through that QC program is top notch. I've witnessed it myself. The guys down there are awesome. You know, I can't talk too much about the specifics of it, but it's coming. What you're seeing out there, that's just the tip. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more coming down the pipe, so stay tuned. And again, you know, spend your dollars with confidence knowing that QC, the quality control, is behind every one of those products coming through ᴜᴚ USA or Elite Force. They're awesome. Dylan ᴘʟᴇᴱ asks, should there be more serious tournaments with bigger prizes? That's kind of a tricky thing when it comes to Airsoft. It's really hard to have a well-regulated competitive game with Airsoft because it all comes down to the honor code type thing. There's no marking type thing. We don't necessarily have refs on the field at most fields, you know, given there are some locations or some indoor fields that do have refs. But anyways, it's kind of a tricky deal. It's a catch-22, double-edged sword, yada, yada, yada. I think with the invention of the app and what Desert Fox Airsoft is bringing as far as events and Milsim goes to Airsoft, it's an app that is objective-based, GPS-based, so it knows when you're capping objectives, you know, how long you've been there, things like that. I think it's called the Blue Fox app, which you'll download to your phone anytime you go to a Desert Fox Airsoft event, and it tells you right there, if you get hit, you press hit. So things like that, invention and the application of stuff like that, I think is actually going to give a very legitimate competitive edge to Airsoft. But as far as like, you know, 3v3 tournaments, things like that, you know, there's always going to be the case of, I know I hit that guy, I know he's shrugging, and that gets super confusing, and I think that kind of dilutes the fun of what Airsoft can be. So bigger prizes, yeah, maybe, you know, objective-based stuff. So think of it in terms of like the video game Battlefield. Yeah, KD ratios are awesome, but you get a lot more points when you're out there capping objectives, capturing flags, and medicing your teammates. But yeah, I mean, bigger prizes, I don't know. It's hard to say. The legitimacy and the relevancy of it is not really there yet, if you ask me. That's my opinion. And you did ask me. All right, guys, last question. This one comes from my buddy Adam Jonesy Munt. Now, he's up there in Wisconsin. He runs a field up in Wisconsin called Damage Control. He has a really good question. Here we go. I'm concerned about not necessarily the rise of backyard and renegade airsoft, but perhaps the frequency I see being advertised in local markets as a viable alternative to organized games and venues. I'm worried about the potential damage it could do to the hobby, say if somebody got hurt and the story got picked up by local news or a Mothers Against quote-unquote group. My quote-unquote opponents say that without the availability of Backyardigan, my term, I trademarked it off, Backyardigan Airsoft, many players would never have the opportunity to play or become engaged in the hobby at all. I could ask your thoughts on it. Man, that's a very well thought out question. So I I've helped out with fields in Kansas City. I owned and operated the first indoor field in Kansas City. And I had a lot of reserved thoughts about this type of thing too. Yes, you definitely want structure. You know, as a parent, they see their kid you know, getting into the hobby and the sport, and they start looking at some of the local fields where the outlets are, where it's safe to play. I definitely think that they want to see some structure. Insurance on these fields is the biggest thing. You know, you call them backyardigans, pirate fields, renegade fields, whatever you want to call them. It's just going to be kind of a group of guys and friends that got together, and it kind of picked up, and now they're taking on, you know, walk-ons, open play type thing. And I think that's great. I really do think that's great for airsoft as a whole. And in any sport or hobby you look at, you know what I mean? You look at, say, baseball. So there's a baseball diamond at the park, right? It's not regulated. The kids that might go play there one weekend when the local Little League club's not using it. I mean, that's kind of the same thing. So I think there definitely should be those kind of offerings, but there should also be the mindset amongst the players of airsoft, knowing that structured, business-oriented airsoft fields, insured, you know what I mean, well taken care of, not kind of just willy-nilly thrown together type stuff. And the guys that are doing the other thing, which I just kind of went over, that's two different offerings, and you shouldn't be trying to compete at the same playing field. Lots of what do you guys think about that? Where's your local field, and how do you think it stacks up compared to some of the more structured fields out there in the United States? Let me know your comments below. Adam, thank you for that question. Very good stuff. So there you go, guys. That'll wrap up another episode of Dials 46 Straight Talk. If you have any questions for future episodes, make sure you put it in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I appreciate that. Ding that bell, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching, guys.